Hello, Magic English 8 here. Thank you for watching my videos. I hope they are helping you improve in your English. And if you find them useful, please kindly like the videos and share them with your friends. Today I am with you with another unit of Blue Interchange, perfect for developing our speaking among other skills. So far, I have covered 10 units of the book, and today I am with you with Unit 11. It's really worth seeing. It's a very useful unit because the grammar here today is about passive voice in present and passive voice in past. Both of them really useful in speaking. So before I start the unit, let's take a look at the word file and see what we are covering today at a glance. Unit 11 of Blue Interchange. It's really worth seeing. Main areas we are covering today are landmarks and monuments, word knowledge, talking about landmarks and monuments, describing countries, and discussing facts. And under our grammar, we will talk about passive voice with by, passive voice without by, in simple past and in simple present. So here under Snapshot, we have different monuments. They are really famous, everyone has seen them, and they are from different countries. Amazing facts about amazing landmarks. Firstly, something about the word landmark. Landmark for a country is a building, a structure, a symbol of the country. Wherever you see, you realize that, this is that country. So for example, if in a movie the setting is France, usually the first scene you see is the Eiffel Tower. Why? Because the director wants to set the scene and tell you that it is France we are shooting the movie. So that is the story of landmark. And the first one, not surprisingly, here is the Eiffel Tower. So I enlarged it a bit more so that you can better see it if you are on your cell phone. The Eiffel Tower, when it was opened in 1889, the tower was red. After a decade, 10 years, it was painted yellow, and later it was covered in different shades of brown. As you see, it is covered in different shades of brown. So this was one interesting fact about the Eiffel Tower. Just one more important point is the passive voice, to be, PP. This is the focus of our grammar today. I just want to let you know what the sentence has in its grammar. When it was opened, the subject is not clear. Okay? Here again we have it was painted. It was covered. All of them passive. The second one, Machu Picchu. I don't know how many of you know about Machu Picchu in Peru. Let's read and then see its pictures. It is located 2,430 meters or 7,972 feet above sea level, and it has resisted several earthquakes. Good. When there is an earthquake, the stones dance and fall back into place. So, because the stones really do not dance, here the word has come in quotation marks, showing that it is another meaning of dance. It is not exactly the meaning that everybody knows of dance. It's not the literal meaning. So figuratively, they move. That's why it says dance. So Machu Picchu. Let's take a look at Google image. This is Machu Picchu, a city high up in the mountains. Okay, so that's the one. That's why it says it is located 2,430 meters above sea level. This is really high. And the third one, the Neuschwanstein Castle. This beautiful castle in Germany was the inspiration for the Walt Disney Magic Kingdom Sleeping Beauty Castle. So, Neuschwanstein Castle in Germany. Let's take a look at Google image and see what it truly looks like. Oh, it's really beautiful, inspiring. It exactly reminds you of the animations by Walt Disney. Very beautiful, very beautiful. So it was the inspiration for Walt Disney animation. What is the meaning of inspiration? But before going to inspiration, Today it's February 2nd and it is Groundhog Day in the United States. There's a bit of culture here, not a bad idea to read it together. It's really interesting. It says February 2nd in the United States. On this day, according to the old stories, the groundhog comes out of its hole for the first time since winter began. So, what is groundhog? After all, we need to know about culture. This animal is groundhog. Okay, so there is a bit of a beautiful culture here. The groundhog comes out of its hole for the first time since the winter began. If it sees its shadow, it is frightened back into the hole, and there will be 6 more weeks of winter. But if it is cloudy and the groundhog cannot see its shadow, there will be an early spring. If one day seems very like another, people sometimes say that it is like Groundhog Day. Why? Because a film in which the main character has the chance to live the same day several times. So Groundhog Day, and when you say it's a Groundhog Day, it's like days are the same. So inspiration, back to our story. Inspiration with the stress on
Inspiration.
Inspiration. So the idea for something comes from somewhere. That idea coming from somewhere is called the inspiration. And this one, Mount Fuji. The highest mountain in Japan is made up of a few volcanoes. You know what they are? The last recorded eruption started in 1707. So volcanoes erupt, and when they do, lava comes out of them. Okay? Mountain eruption, volcano eruption. This is volcano eruption. So it erupts and lava, molten stone, comes out of it. Okay? And about our beautiful landmark, the Statue of Liberty, which means freedom. The 350 pieces were made, passive, in France and then shipped, again passive, were shipped to the United States. Okay, so both of these verbs are PPs. Made, shipped. 350 pieces of Statue of Liberty made in France and shipped to the United States. Very beautiful, very iconic. Big Ben. The tower is named Elizabeth Tower. Big Ben is the name of the bell inside, okay, in England. So these were some interesting facts about different landmarks in different countries. We talked about them. Here it says, have you ever visited any of them? Which would you like to visit and why? So this is your speaking time. You may pause the video here and say, for example, yeah, I have seen the Eiffel Tower. Some years ago, I went with my friends. It was a really awe-inspiring landmark. From everywhere you looked at it, it was shining like stars in the sky. Or, for example, you say, I have never gone to Peru or to South America. I would like to one day go and see Machu Picchu from up close. It might be really beautiful to see it compared to what you see in pictures. Or any other monument that you would like to go, please pause the video and talk about it. But here there is a third question. Do you know any interesting facts about landmarks in your country? So let's go take a look at the sample responses I have brought for you here. So landmarks of your country. I have brought 2 answers here, one from Iran and the other one from Italy. The first one says, Persepolis is an ancient city in Iran known for its grand places and historical significance. It was built, passive, by the Persian Empire around 500 BCE, which means before Christ or before Common Era. Persepolis showcases or displays impressive architecture and intricate stone carvings. Intricate means delicate. Very beautiful. Stone carving. Carving is the time that you take out parts of stone from the surface of it. So intricate stone carvings, reflecting, showing Persian art and culture. Today it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting tourists and scholars, university professors, interested in ancient civilizations and history. So let's take a look at Google image and see what it looks like. Persepolis city in nearly south of Iran, a very beautiful landmark to go and look at, with soaring towers into sky. And these are the carvings. You see, they have carved the stones, or they have cut pieces out of the stone, making it a really beautiful sight to go and see. So this was the first sample response from someone from Iran. Now the second sample response from someone from Italy. Italy is famous for its historic landmarks. The Colosseum, built around AD 70 to 80, I will talk about it, is an ancient amphitheater in Rome. The Leaning Tower of Pisa, constructed in the 12th century, is known for its tilt, or it is not 100% upright. It is a little tilt. It's not 100% perpendicular. Florence's Duomo, started in 1296, is a stunning cathedral as well. So some words here, let's talk about them. Firstly, it is historic with the stress on T, history, historic. Colosseum, you know what it is, just to take a look at that. This is Colosseum, an amphitheater built in AD 70 to 80. So 80 is the opposite of BC. That one was before Christ, but this one is after. It is the common era that we are living in. Is an ancient amphitheater in Rome, the Leaning Tower. So it is leaning, it's not 100% perpendicular. This is leaning, you see, it's leaning, or it's tilt. Constructed, again passive, 12th century BC, is known for its tilt. And Florence's Duomo is a stunning cathedral. Cathedral means a big major church. Okay, very beautiful with its beautiful dome. Okay, so these were the two sample responses from two different countries. Now, from your country, what interesting landmark have you got? Please pause the video and talk about it to develop your speaking. Okay? And now let's move to exercise 2. How much do you know about the Walt Disney Company and theme parks? So here, 7 sentences about the Walt Disney and theme parks, 3 of which are incorrect. They have mistakes. Let's see if we can find the mistakes. A little I enlarge it. So let's see.
1. The Walt Disney Company was founded in 1923 in California by Walt Disney and his brother Roy.
The Walt Disney Company was founded in 1923. I will talk about this word. In California, correct, by Walt Disney and his brother Roy. All of that correct. Just 1 point here, was founded. You see that we have a to be and a pp here. It is a passive sentence. But what is founded? The verb, the main verb is found. It's not find. So there is 2 words here and they might be kind of similar, but you be careful please. We have find, past and pp are found, found. But we got found and then founded, founded. This second one means establish, start for a company. So it says Walt Disney was established in 1923 in California. Correct. Number 2.
2. Their most famous character, Mickey Mouse, first appeared in a movie in 1928.
Interesting. Yes. Their most famous character, Mickey Mouse, it was not Donald Duck, first appeared in a movie in 1928. Okay. Number 3.
3. The first Disney theme park, Disneyland, was opened in 1955 in California. and soon became an international attraction.
Thank you very much. Okay, so the first theme park in Disneyland was opened in 1955 in California, not in New York, and became an international attraction. Okay, was opened, again passive.
4.
Number 4.
The official opening was broadcast live by the ABC television network.
The official opening was broadcast. To be PP. Broadcast, broadcast, broadcast. All the three forms are the same. Live, adverb, by the ABC television network. Just take a look at broadcast. Broadcast noun, broadcast verb.
Broadcast.
Past and PP. All of them the same. And it says to send out radio or television programs. The interview was
broadcast live across Europe.
Across Europe. So it is similar to our sentence. Was broadcast live. And number 5.
5. In 1971, the company opened their second park, Disney World.
So, 1971, the company opened their second park. Here, the sentence is not passive because it does not have the to be and PP.
6. Some of their most popular parks in Florida include Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot Center.
Okay, again, this sentence is not passive with some of famous parks.
7. In 1983, the company opened their first foreign park, Tokyo Disneyland. Later, theme parks were also opened in Paris, Hong Kong, and Shanghai.
Interesting, interesting. So the company opened their first foreign park outside of the United States in Tokyo, not London, Disneyland, and later in other countries, in Paris, in Hong Kong, and in Shanghai. Okay, so here we had some sentences about Walt Disney and its theme parks, kind of activated our mind on the grammar of passive to be PP. But before going to the grammar part, here I have some speaking practice for you. The question says, have you ever been to a Disney park? How did you feel? Okay, now it's the time for you to pause the video and give your answer. I have brought 2 answers, for a yes and for a no. Let's see, and after that, if you like, please you give your answer as well. Yes, I've been to a Disney park. I went to Disneyland in California. It felt amazing. There were colorful rides, friendly characters, and yummy snacks. Delicious snacks. I felt like I was in a magical world. Meeting Mickey Mouse was the best. The fireworks at night were beautiful. I want to go back again someday. Okay, this is the sample response for someone going to Disney Park with their feelings. And this one, no, I have never been to a Disney Park. I would like to visit someday, one day. I heard they are very fun and exciting places. I think it would feel magical to see all the characters and attractions. So, sometimes your answer to a question is yes, so you have a lot of things to talk about it. Sometimes your answer is no. Again, you can say why not, or why would you like that to be a yes. Expanding your talk this way. And now, if you are okay, we move to the grammar focus of the unit, which is the passive voice with by, and that is simple past. So there might be this question, why the passive? Why not active? Why? Because you want, for some reasons, to change the focus of the sentence. And you want to put it on the object. The object of the sentence becomes more important to you, or sometimes you do not know who the subject is. Sometimes the subject is unknown, sometimes it's not very important. Okay, through the examples, I will let you know about that. But first, let's take a look at the structure of the passive. Passive with by, simple past, the structure. Active is subject, verb, object, and the rest of the sentence. For example, Egyptians made the pyramids. Egyptians made the pyramids. But everybody these days knows that Egyptians have done that. For some reasons, in one sentence, you want to put the emphasis on pyramids, which is the object of the sentence. Now you passivize the sentence by bringing object in the beginning. Now we need a to be because this sentence is in past. We need was or were. And if our object is singular, then was. If it is plural, where. And then the PP of the verb and rest of the sentence. So it says, the pyramids were made by the Egyptians. The passive voice. So the structure for passive is object, to be, PP, and by subject is optional. That's why it is in parentheses. Now before going further, here I have a word about the to be, how to pick the right to be. As you know, to be's are am, is, are, was, and were. So as you see, they are categorized into two groups of singular, plural, and here into two groups of present and past. So based on your verb tense, you should decide if the to be should be present or it should be past. And then based on your object, if it is singular, this one. If it is plural, this one. Got it? Not a bad idea to pause the video here and take a screenshot of this and put it in your toolkit. Useful for you. And now let's go back to the grammar here. Let's listen to these sentences. It says, the Disney brothers founded the company in 1923. Now I want you not to look at this part and passivize this sentence. So as I told you, you need to find the object. What did they found? The company. Put it in the beginning and then to be PP. The company was founded by the Disney brothers in 1923. Okay, so that is the passive voice for this one. And this is Walt Disney opened Disneyland in 1955. So what did he open? Disneyland. It is singular, but it has happened in past. So singular past means was. Disneyland was opened by Walt Disney in 1955. Good. And now this one, the ABC network broadcast the opening of the park. What did they broadcast? The opening of the park. So that is the object. Put it in the beginning because it is singular, the opening. And it is in past, was. The opening of the park was broadcast. Broadcast. The opening of the park was broadcast by the ABC network. Very beautifully, you could passivize these sentences. So that is the trick. Find the object, put it in the beginning, decide on the right to be, and after that, PP and the rest of the sentence. Okay? Now here, part A. I want you to pause the video for a moment, look at these sentences, and try to complete them with the passive voice. The verbs are given to you. You just need to decide on the right to be and the correct PP of the verbs. Okay? Just a second, pause the video and do that for yourself. And now the answers, let's check together. Mont Saint Victoire. So it is the name of a painting. It is singular, so past. It is was painted by French artist Paul Cézanne. Was painted. The first Star Wars film, again it is in past and singular, was written and, again PP, directed by George Lucas. So it is was written and directed. You don't need to repeat the was. Was written and directed. Just this directed is not past, it is PP. The Statue of Liberty was designed by the French sculptor Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. Was designed. The 2014 World Cup final was won. So won by Germany. The final match was seen by almost 1 billion people all over the world. Just one point here about win. If you go to your alignment, you see that it says When, one. Whenever I say Longman, I mean dictionary. It could be your Cambridge, it could be your Oxford, or any other dictionary. So excuse me if I just say your Longman. It is when, and after that, one. If you hear, you see, he
won the Tour de France last year.
He won the Tour de France last year. And here you have both words, one, and you see they kind of sound the same.
We won by just 1 point.
We won by just 1 point. You see, they are similar. And next one, the songs Revolution and Hey Jude. So here the object is plural. The songs Revolution and Hey Jude were recorded by the Beatles in 1968. Here were recorded. In the 2007 film I'm Not There, the American musician Bob Dylan was played by 6 different people, including Australian actress Kate Blanchett. Okay. Number 7, the 2016 Oscar for Best Actress was given to Brie Larson for her role in the movie Room. And number 8, the first iPad was released in 2010. So as you saw, all of these passive sentences was PP or were PP. Got it? Now here, change these sentences into passive voice. Let's see. Now again, it's time for you to pause the video and practice your grammar. And my answers: Eddie Redmayne played Stephen Hawking in the 2014 film The Theory of Everything, a very beautiful movie. So what is the object? Played Stephen Hawking. Object here, Stephen Hawking. It is singular, but the sentence is in past. We put it in the beginning. Stephen Hawking was played by Eddie Redmayne in the 2014 film The Theory of Everything. Got it? Stephen Hawking was played. Number 2, Gabriel Garcia Marquez wrote the novel 100 Years of Solitude in 1967. So what did he write? The novel 100 Years of Solitude. The novel, singular. So the novel 100 Years of Solitude was written by Gabriel Garcia Marquez in 1976. Number 3, the American architect William Lamb designed the Empire State Building. What did he design? The Empire State Building. Singular. The Empire State Building was designed by the American architect William Lamb. Was designed. Number 4, Wupike produced the first digital HD TV in 1991. So what did he produce? The first digital HD TV. The first digital HD TV was produced by Wupike in 1991. Number 5, J.K. Rowling wrote the first Harry Potter book on an old manual typewriter. So what did she write? The first Harry Potter book. Object. The first Harry Potter book was written by J.K. Rowling on an old manual typewriter. Such an amazing book. And number 6, Empire magazine readers chose Indiana Jones as the greatest movie character of all time. So object, Indiana Jones, singular. Indiana Jones was chosen as the greatest movie character of all time by Empire magazine readers. So this is how you passivise sentences. But for more grammar practice, here I have some sentences for you. Please change them into passive voice. They are not very difficult or long sentences. The chef cooked the meals. So here we have object, it is the meals, and it is in passive. So what do you say? Very good. We choose it. The meals were cooked by the chef. Excellent. Number 2, they painted the house blue. Object, the house. The house was painted blue. The house was painted blue by them. Number 3. She read the book yesterday. So what did she read? The book. The book was read. Read, read, irregular verb. The book was read by her yesterday. He fixed the car. The car was fixed. Very good. Number 5. We planted the trees. Plural. The trees were planted in the garden by us. They finished the projects on time. Again, plural. The projects were finished by them on time, or on time by them. Adverbs, and they can be shifted. Number 7. She baked a cake for the party. A cake was baked. Very good. And number 8. They built 2 new bridges across the river. So object, 2 new bridges were built. 2 new bridges were built across the river by them. Okay, you got it? I hope that by this time you kind of know the passive voice in past, to be, and PP, and you can use them in your sentences. Okay, very good. Now let's go to exercise 5, pronunciation. The letter O, it is pronounced 4 different ways, and your job is just to check them in your dictionary. But here the list of the words is not very difficult for us. As you see here, we have O pronounced as not. We have it O, no. We have it oo, do. And again we have it short one. So this is not, this is one. Shorter and kind of different, but they are very close and similar looking. So the words in part A don't seem to be difficult. I just want to read them for you. Not, top, no, don't, do, food, and one, love, short. Now, based on these 4 different pronunciations of O, you please pronounce words in part B and decide which group they go to. Please pause the video, do that on your own to practice your pronunciation, and now I will play the listening for you to see where they go. Okay? Ready? Let's listen.
Come.
Come. You see? One. Love. Come.
Done.
Done. The same for done.
Lock.
Lock. Not. Lock. So it's a good idea to have one simple word of each category in your mind. Then you can link or associate the new pronunciations and decide where each new word goes. So, lock.
Own.
Own. Oh. No. Own. You see, it goes under category 2.
Shot.
Shot. Not. Very similar. Shot. Not.
Soon.
Soon. Ooh. Do. Soon.
Who.
Who. Again, ooh.
Wrote.
Wrote. Oh. Oh. Okay. So this was a beautiful exercise about different pronunciations of letter O. And one important thing, what you see might not be exactly pronounced the way you expected. So it's a good idea always to look up the words in the dictionary and listen to the pronunciation. Okay, I hope by this time you are not tired, my friends. If you are, please pause the video, get up, go do something, and come back. And now we are heading for exercise 6, the listening. Man-made wonders of the word. 3 beautiful wonders around the word. Let's listen and answer these questions. Again, as you know, we listen to each part 2 times. The first time I'll go non-stop. You please take notes, and after that give me a short summary for developing your speaking. Afterwards, we will go sentence by sentence talking about its beautiful words and language. Okay? Please listen and take notes.
1.
Taj Mahal. Why was it built? What do the changing colors of the building represent?
What would you do for love? Would you take 17 years to build a place to remember someone? That's what Emperor Shah Jahan did when he built the Taj Mahal. This incredible building was designed for his wife when she died. She was his third wife, but also his favorite. The colors of the building change with the time of day, and they say that the different colors represent the different moods of women. So, ladies, you can change your mood 3 times a day and it's accepted. Now, this was built almost 400 years ago, before modern construction equipment. So think about all the work that went into building this. More than 1,000 elephants were used to transport materials, and around 20,000 people were hired to build the Taj Mahal. Now, if we walk closer, you'll see...
Okay, the Taj Mahal. So this is your time to pause the video and give your summary of the Taj Mahal in order to practice your speaking. And my summary: the construction of the Taj Mahal took 17 years, and it was constructed by the order of Shah Jahan for the memory of his beloved wife. She was his third wife, but also his very popular one, and the colors changed 3 times in the day in order to show that it's acceptable for women to change their moods, as the lady was saying. And it was constructed 400 years ago with the use of 1,000 elephants to carry materials there, and with the employment of 20,000 people who worked on it. Okay, now number 2, please take notes and give your summary.
2. Palace of Versailles. What did King Louis XIV want the Hall of Mirrors to show? What problem did the candles cause? How did the mirrors help?
Now we come to the Hall of Mirrors, one of the most famous rooms in the Palace of Versailles. King Louis XIV wanted this room to show all the riches and power of France. The paintings on the wall, the beautiful detail of the room, the gardens outside. They were all made more visible with the mirrors. But electricity didn't exist in those days, so candles were used. Any idea what problems the candles caused? Anyone?
Candles make smoke?
That's right. Candles make smoke, and smoke can damage paintings. The mirrors reflected the light of the candles, so they didn't have to use as many. Fewer candles meant less smoke, and less smoke damage to the room. Pretty smart, right? Now let's go see some of the 350 rooms and apartments for visitors.
Okay, got it. Beautiful and wise. Now pause the video and give your summary, please, about the Palace of Versailles. The Palace of Versailles, so beautiful, and why was it constructed this way? Louis XIV wanted to show all the riches and the power of France, so he constructed this place so beautifully with different lights and mirrors and paintings. So what is the role of the mirrors? Because at that time electricity was not invented, there was no light, so they had to turn on candles. And what was the problem of candles? They had smoke, which damaged the paintings. In order to have fewer candles and less smoke, so they came up with the idea of mirrors in order to reflect the lights and make the room brighter. And the third one.
3. La Sagrada Familia. What did the architect think about man-made structures versus nature? Why are no straight lines used?
Folks, I am so excited today to show you La Sagrada Familia. Construction on this church started in 1882, and over 130 years later, it's still not finished. The architect, Antoni Gaudí, felt very strongly that architecture should reflect nature, and you can see this in his buildings. For example, you may notice that hill over there. La Sagrada Familia is exactly 1 meter shorter because Gaudí believed that no man-made structure should be taller than its natural surroundings. And notice the curves of the church. This is another example of how Gaudí copied nature. He said, if straight lines don't exist in nature, they shouldn't exist in architecture either.
Okay, and now please pause the video and give your summary of La Sagrada Familia. And my summary, it was constructed in 1882, and even after 130 years of its construction, it's still unfinished because the architect felt so strongly about nature, and he feels that if in nature there is no straight line, so there shouldn't be any straight line in architecture either. And for example, there is a hill nearby, and this structure is just 1 meter shorter than that because no element man-made should be higher than the natural elements. Okay, this was the feeling of the architect. Now let's listen a second time to the part talking about its beautiful words and phrases. Okay, let's go.
What would you do for love?
What would you do for love?
Would you take 17 years to build a place to remember someone? That's what Emperor Shah Jahan did when he...
So Shah Jahan, Shah means king. In Eastern world and in Eastern countries, Shah means king. So his name was Shah Jahan. That is the word for king.
Built the Taj Mahal. This incredible building was designed for...
This incredible building. So because it is a very beautiful collocation, I want you to have it in your vocabulary list. Incredible building. Instead of saying beautiful building, incredible building.
For his wife when she died. She was his third wife, but also his favorite. The colors of the building change with the time of day. And they say that the different colors represent the different moods of women. So, ladies, you can change your mood 3 times a day and it's accepted.
And it's accepted. Interesting.
Now, this was built almost 400 years ago.
So this was built, passive voice.
Before modern construction equipment. So think about all the work that went into building this.
Think about all the work that went into building this, that was spent on building this.
More than 1,000 elephants were used to transport materials.
More than 1,000 elephants were used, again passive, with a plural object.
And around 20,000 people were hired to build...
Around 20,000 people were hired.
...build the Taj Mahal. Now, if we walk closer, you'll see...
2.
Okay.
Palace of Versailles.
Now we come to the Hall of Mirrors, one of the most famous rooms in the Palace of Versailles. King Louis XIV wanted this room to show all the riches and power of France.
So, to show all the riches and power of France.
The paintings on the wall, the beautiful detail of the room, the gardens outside. They were all made more visible with the mirrors.
So the mirrors showed them more beautifully.
But electricity didn't exist in those days, so candles were used.
Candles were used.
Any idea what problems the candles caused? Anyone?
Candles make smoke?
That's right.
Really?
Candles make smoke, and smoke can damage paintings. The mirrors reflected the light of the candles, so they didn't have to use as many.
Ingenious. They didn't have to use as many. And that as many means as many candles. They didn't have to use as many. And this part is not given. As many candles.
Fewer candles meant less smoke.
Fewer candles meant. Fewer candles meant less smoke.
And less smoke damage to the room. Pretty smart, right?
Pretty smart.
Now let's go see some of the 350 rooms and apartments for visitors.
3. La Sagrada Familia.
Folks, I am so excited today to show you La Sagrada Familia. Construction on this church started in 1882, and over 130 years later, it's still not finished. The architect, Antoni Gaudí, felt very strongly that architecture should reflect nature, and you can see this in his buildings. For example, you may notice that hill over there, La Sagrada Familia.
So there is a hill over there, and the architect thinks that nothing should be taller or higher than the natural elements, no man-made structure.
Is exactly 1 meter shorter because Gaudí believed that no man-made structure should be taller than its natural surroundings. And notice the curves of the church. This is another example of how Gaudí copied nature. He said, if straight lines don't exist in nature, they shouldn't exist in architecture either.
They shouldn't exist in architecture either. So either means and not. Okay, you got it? It was a beautiful listening talking about 3 famous monuments around the world. And now, to practice our speaking, I got a question for you here. Think of a famous monument in your country and talk about it. Now, please pause the video here and talk about a famous monument of your country. My sample response here is from someone from England. So the answer says, one famous landmark in England is Big Ben, an iconic clock tower located in London. Iconic means it is so noticeable, it is so different from other things that easily you can distinguish it. Iconic, different. It's part of the Palace of Westminster and is renowned for its impressive architecture and chimes. So renowned means famous. It is famous for, it is renowned for its impressive architecture, a beautiful collocation, and chimes, you know what they are? These are chimes, yeah? Okay. Big Ben is a symbol of the city and is often featured in photographs and movies depicting England. Depict means show. So if a movie wants to show England, usually Big Ben is employed. Many tourists visit London specifically to see this historic landmark. A very beautiful sample response for the Big Ben in England. Now, you please pause the video and talk about a famous monument in your country to develop and further your speaking. Okay? And now, if you're good, we move to exercise 7, word power. Country fast facts. Here we got some more sentences for practice our vocabulary domain as well as the passive voice. Let's take care of it together. But before we start the questions, here there is a yellow box with the words. Please, you read them for yourself in order to practice your pronunciation. Pause the video and do that. And now I will do that for you. Cattle, sheep, dialects, souvenirs, electronics, soybeans, handicrafts, textiles, languages, and wheat. Do you think there were any new words for you here? Just cattle, which means cows, sheep, dialects, or the accents of a language. Souvenir, when you travel, you bring some gifts for your friends and family. Souvenir, electronics, soybeans, we eat them. Wheat, we eat them. Languages, textile, related to fabric and cloth, and handicrafts, pieces of art made by artists, usually in the form of a souvenir. Now, let's see these sentences. We complete them and then we try to use our grammar on them. It says the United States grows soybeans and wheat. Grows soybeans and wheat. Number 2, Australia raises cattle and sheep. So cattle and sheep, and the verb raise. What does raise mean here? Because we know that raise usually means go up. But let's take a look at our dictionary. Raise, to move to a higher level, higher status. We know that it doesn't mean that. Increase, again, no. So here I'm trying to tell you how to look up the words. You read these beginners and see in which sense of meaning you're looking for that. So raise here in the meaning of animals we're looking for. So we come and find it here. It says to look after animals or grow plants so that they can be sold or used as goods. It means to grow them, to take care of them and let them grow. And that is the meaning of raise here. For example,
He raised cattle in Nebraska when he was young.
he raised cattle in Nebraska. Or
Jim retired to raise raspberries.
retired to raise raspberries. So raise in the meaning of grow. Number 3, China manufactures electronics and textiles. Manufacture in the meaning of make, produce. Number 4, in India, people speak many different languages and dialects or accents. And number 5, you can find souvenirs and handicrafts at different shops in Brazil. Okay, so these sentences were active. They had their subject. Now we want to passivize them. How to do so? Let's find the objects and then put them in the beginning of the sentence. It says the United States grows soybean and wheat. Soybeans and wheat are grown. It is present, so the to be for that is are. Soybeans and wheat are grown in the United States. Australia raises cattle and sheep. Cattle and sheep are raised in Australia. China manufactures electronics and textiles. Electronics and textiles are manufactured in China. In India, people speak many different languages and dialects. Many different languages and dialects are spoken in India. And number 5, you can find souvenirs and handicrafts at different shops in Brazil. Souvenir and handicrafts are found at different shops in Brazil. So this was another practice for our grammar here that we did. But now also I have some speaking practice for you. Talk about your country using the words in part A. Now I have one active sample response and one passive sample response for you. Let's take a look and see how the active and passive can help us in speaking. Active. We raised cattle and sheep on our farm in Chile. This sample response comes from someone in Chile. Our region is known for its diverse dialects and unique souvenirs. We also cultivate or grow soybeans and traditional crops like corn and oats. In town, you can find modern electronics alongside handmade crafts. Agriculture is a significant part of our economy, with soybeans being a major crop. Our community values both traditional practices and technological advancements. So as you saw, all these sentences had subjects and we didn't find passive sentences. Now here, the same meaning but in passive voice. Okay? C. Cattle and sheep are raised on our farm in Chile. Our region is known for its diverse dialects and unique souvenirs. Soybeans and traditional crops like corn and oats are also cultivated by us. In town, modern electronics can be found alongside handmade crafts. Agriculture is a significant part of our economy, a significant part of beautiful collocation, with soybeans being a major crop. Both traditional practices and technological advancements are valued by our community. Okay, so you see here that the same meaning can be given in active or in passive voice depending on your style, depending on your preference. And now let's move to exercise 8, the conversation. So, the title says, what do you want to know? And here we have a picture. Without looking at the conversation text, can you tell me what this conversation might be about? Here we have North Sea, here we have Belgium, Germany, Amsterdam. So, it might be about probably a tour in Europe. It might be about a visit to Amsterdam. Probably, yeah. This is what we can guess based on this picture. Now, if you have some other sentences to talk about this picture, please pause the video and talk about that. But I here have got some focus questions for you. While you're listening to the conversation, please find the answer to these questions. Okay, what you going to do there, what currency is used in the Netherlands, and what should she buy there. Okay, let's listen.
Eric, you're from Amsterdam, aren't you?
Yeah, why?
I'm going there for a conference, and I'd like some information.
Sure, what do you want to know?
Do you use the euro in the Netherlands?
Yes, the euro is used in most of Europe, you know.
And do I need to take euros with me?
Not really. International credit cards are accepted everywhere, and they're much safer.
Of course. And what should I buy there?
Cheese, definitely. We raise dairy cows, and some really excellent cheese is made from their milk.
Good. I love cheese. Where's it sold?
You can find it at cheese shops all around the city. And don't forget to bring me a piece.
Of course. So, did you find the answers to these questions? What's she gonna do there? She's invited to a conference and she's going to attend a conference there. And the currency used in the Netherlands is the euro. The euro is used in the Netherlands. And what should she buy there? Cheese. Why? Because they raise lots of dairy cattle, and the cheese made from these cattle is excellent in quality. Now let's listen to that for a second time while looking at the conversation text.
Practice.
Eric, you're from Amsterdam, aren't you?
Yeah, why?
I'm going there for a conference, and I'd like some information.
Sure, what do you want to know?
Do you use the euro in the Netherlands?
Yes, the euro is used in most of Europe, you know.
And do I need to take euros with me?
Not really. International credit cards are accepted everywhere, and they're much safer.
Of course. And what should I buy there?
Cheese, definitely. We raise dairy cows, and some really excellent cheese is made from their milk.
Good. I love cheese. Where's it sold?
You can find it at cheese shops all around the city. And don't forget to bring me a piece.
Of course. Okay, it was a beautiful listening about Amsterdam and some information about it. Now, let's read it again. There were some points here. It says, you're from Amsterdam, aren't you? The tag question. You are, aren't you? Yeah, why? I'm going there for a conference and I'd like some information. Sure, what do you want to know? Do you use the euro in the Netherlands? So for some countries, as you know, we use the before the name. It is the US, the UK, the Netherlands, the Philippines, the UAE, the most common countries with the. Do you use the euro in the Netherlands? Active, and he responds with a passive. The euro is used in most of Europe, you know? And do I need to take euros with me? He says, not really. International credit cards are accepted. Passive, everywhere. And they're much safer, of course. And what should I buy there? Cheese, definitely. We raise dairy cows. So here you can say dairy cows are raised. And some really excellent cheese is made. Again, passive. Good, I love cheese. Where is it sold? You can find it at cheese shop. He says cheese shop. It is not cheese shop. Cheese shop. Listen to it.
Good. I love cheese. Where's it sold?
You can find it at cheese shops all.
You can find it at cheese shop. Listen again.
I love cheese. Where's it sold?
You can find it at cheese shops all around the city.
At cheese shop, because it is s and z getting together and then mixing together. Cheese shop.
And don't forget to bring me a piece.
Don't forget to bring me a piece of cheese. Okay, so mainly the conversation was the focus of our grammar, which is the passive. Now, part B, let's listen and see what it is about.
Page 70 for the rest of the conversation. What other suggestion does Eric give Lisa?
Okay, other suggestions.
So when is your conference in Amsterdam?
In April.
Great! You'll be there for the Tulip Festival. I think it's the most beautiful spring garden in the world.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. It's in the city, right?
No, actually it's located in Lies, about an hour south of Amsterdam.
How do I get there?
You can take a bus or you can go on a day tour. The tulips are gorgeous. They're really worth seeing.
I'm sure they are. Thanks for the tips.
Okay, did you get it? Please give your summary by pausing the video. He is encouraging her to go to the Tulips Festival, which is held in April. And he believes that the tulips there are gorgeous to go and look at. So how can she go there? She can take the bus or take a tour to go there. And where is it? In town? No, it is about 1 hour south of Amsterdam. Okay, let's listen again to the part and talk about the beautiful words there.
Does Eric give Lisa?
So when is your conference in Amsterdam?
In April.
Great! You'll be there for the Tulip Festival.
You'll be there for the Tulip Festival. What is tulip? You know, it is a type of flower, very beautiful. So if you want to exactly know what they look like, it is tulips. These are tulips. And if you want to know about tulips festival in the Netherlands, this is tulip festival in the Netherlands. Beautiful or more beautiful, gorgeous.
I think it's the most beautiful spring garden in the world.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it. It's in the city, right?
No, actually it's located in Lies, about an hour south of Amsterdam.
So it is about an hour south of Amsterdam.
How do I get there?
How do I get there?
You can take a bus or you can go on a day tour.
So take a bus or go on a tour.
The tulips are gorgeous.
Tulips are gorgeous. Gorgeous means very beautiful, fantastic.
Really worth seeing.
They're really worth seeing. They are worth seeing. So something I forgot to tell you about this structure in the beginning. We had the title, to be worth and then verb ing. To be worth, verb ing, means it is necessarily valuable. It is surely valuable to do it. They are worth seeing means they are valuable to see. It's worth going. It is really valuable to go and see.
I'm sure they are. Thanks for the tips.
Thanks for the tips. Thanks for the ideas that you gave me. Okay, the conversation finished, and again, we saw that it foreshadowed the grammar part for us. Exercise 9, grammar passive without by. It is simple present. So nothing is changed. Structure is the same. It is to be, PP, but the to be there wasn't where. Here the to be is, am, is, are, the passive voice. Okay, in present. Now, please don't look at these passive sentences, just look at this part, the active ones. They use the euro in most of Europe. So what is the passive? The euro is used in most of Europe. Most places accept credit cards. Credit cards are accepted in most places or by most places. And we raise dairy cattle in the Netherlands. Dairy cattle are raised in the Netherlands. So you see that cattle doesn't look like a plural word, but it is plural. Cattle are raised. And it is dairy, so we raise it for their milk. It's not meat, it is dairy. And because we have talked about this grammar before, I guess you are okay with it. Just let's go to part A and do this exercise. Grow, manufacture, raise, speak, sell, and use. Before starting, please tell me past and PP of these verbs. Grow, grew, grown. Manufacture, manufactured, manufactured. Raise, raised, raised. Speak, spoke, spoken. Sell, sold, sold. And use, used, used. Okay. French and Flemish are spoken in Belgium. Okay, the languages. Rice is grown in many Asian countries. Cars and electronics are manufactured in Japan. Sheep's milk is used for making feta cheese. Handicrafts are sold in the streets in Thailand, and a lot of cattle are raised in Australia. Okay, so the passive sentences, I think they were not difficult for you. And now part B, complete this passage using the simple present passive form. So simple present passive form means is PP or PP. It could also be am PP, but very rare. Now please pause the video here, take a look, and after that we continue, okay? So the answers: many crops are grown in Taiwan. Some crops are consumed locally, but others are exported. Tea is grown in cooler parts of the island, and rice is cultivated. Grow, cultivate. In warm parts, fishing is also an important industry. A wide variety of seafood, what is the to be, is caught. A wide variety of seafood is caught. Catch, caught, caught. And PP, shipped. SHIPPED, all over the world. Many people are employed in the food processing industry. So a question for you is, how do I memorize past and PP of the verbs? If they are regular, just ed. But if they are irregular, there is this table or anything similar to this. You need to read and memorize common irregular verb list. This is a list of 100 common irregular verbs. You need to have a list like this, read and memorize. How? Be, was, were, been. Bear, bore, born. Beat, beat, bitten. Become, became, become. And so on. Go and read all the lists for yourself, and there is a lot of videos on YouTube on that, so you can use them as well in order to memorize. But these are necessary and prerequisite for passive, because for passive we need the third column, the PP part. Okay, have that in your mind. And now if you are okay, under this grammar focus, I got a speaking practice for you. So the speaking practice here says, use the passive of the verbs in part A to talk about your country or any other country that you know. And my sample response comes from someone in Bangladesh. It says, in Bangladesh, crops are grown abundantly, contributing to our agricultural sector, helping our agricultural sector. And abundantly means very much, in large number or amount. Various products are manufactured here, supporting our economy. Livestock, which means farm animals. Livestock are raised for dairy and meat purposes. Bengali, which is their language, is spoken widely throughout the country. Goods are sold domestically and internationally for the country purpose and for export purpose. Domestically and internationally. This was beautiful for your writings and for speaking part of IELTS. Very much useful. Boosting trade, which means helps improves our trade. Technology and resources are used efficiently to improve productivity. Bangladesh is recognized for its resilience and progress, for its strong resistance against problems and progress, development, continually striving for development or continually trying for development across various sectors despite challenges. Although there are problems, we try to make progress. Very good and very beautiful sample response from Bangladesh, and it was also inspiring. Okay, so that was the speaking part of our grammar. Each time I have a speaking sample response, please pause the video either before I read the sample or after that and give your sample response. It will contribute to your speaking. And now, my friends, let's move to exercise 10, the listening. Okay? The listening is talking about the effects of mass tourism in a country. Here, in particular, Costa Rica. Okay? It says 6 effects of mass tourism, and some of them are positive, some of them are negative. Please listen and decide if each one is positive or negative. Okay, let's go. First time, non-stop I go. Please take notes. Give your summary of the part.
We're coming to you live from the Ecotourism Conference in San Jose, Costa Rica. Ecotourism is a form of responsible tourism that aims to protect the local environment and culture. Alberto Rodriguez, an environmental studies professor from the local university, is here with us to explain. Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez. Can you tell us how tourism has changed Costa Rica over the last 10 years?
Good morning, Emily. Well, tourism has been good for the country in many ways. English is now spoken more than ever, and many Costa Ricans are bilingual. Tourism jobs are available all over the country, and more foreigners are investing here, so it's been good for our economy. But there have been costs to the country too. With mass tourism, acres of jungle are cut down so high-rise hotels can be built. Fish and lobster are hunted in our waters to feed to tourists. 25% of Costa Rican land is protected, but what about the other 75%? Ecotourism has become the answer to that question. The government reviews businesses and decides if they qualify in the ecotourism category. Then they put them on a list so travelers can choose them when they visit our beautiful country.
What makes a business an ecotourism business? What are the criteria?
Well, let's look at this hotel where we're having the conference. It fulfills some of the most common criteria to be a certified ecotourism business here. Local Costa Ricans are employed, waste is recycled, energy-saving devices are used, and visitors are educated about our culture and environment.
Fantastic. Before we go, Mr. Rodriguez, is there anything you'd like to say to all the travelers listening to you right now?
I would encourage all travelers to visit ecotourism businesses when traveling. They can learn about nature without disturbing it. Together, we can make a difference.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Live from San Jose, Costa Rica, Emily Jameson reporting.
Thank you, Emily Jameson from Costa Rica and San Jose in particular. So this was kind of long listening, and maybe some parts you did not take notes on. It doesn't matter because it's going to be a summary of the part. So did you take notes on that? Please pause the video here and give your summary. And my summary, the man was talking about this tourism in Costa Rica with its positive and negative effects. The positive effects are that English is now spoken in many parts of Costa Rica, which is significant development, and also there is a lot of tourism jobs available for the country. However, The downside is that lots of trees are cut down in order to make room for hotels or amenities for tourists. Fish and lobster are caught in abundance in order to feed the tourists, which is not good. And he says just 25% of land there is protected. What about the rest, which is not protected? And in order to be an ecotourism business, you need to fulfill some criteria. For example, you need to employ some locals. So locals need to be employed in your business, and waste needs to be recycled efficiently and energy to be used properly and efficiently, not to disturb the nature. Okay, so overall this was this listening about ecotourism in Costa Rica. Now, one more time, let's listen. It had a lot of words to talk about.
6 effects indicating
To you live.
positive or negative.
We're coming to you live from the Ecotourism Conference in San Jose, Costa Rica.
Clear? San Jose, Costa Rica.
Ecotourism is a form of responsible tourism that aims to protect the
So, it is responsible tourism that aims to. Aim means it has this goal. So, it aims to, and then whatever. For example, it aims to protect the environment.
local environment and culture. Alberto Rodriguez, an environmental studies professor from the local university,
Environmental studies professor.
is here with us to explain. Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez. Can you tell us how tourism has changed Costa Rica over the last
How tourism has changed Costa Rica.
10 years?
Good morning, Emily. Well, tourism has been good for the country in many ways. English is now spoken more than ever, and many Costa Ricans are bilingual.
Many Costa Ricans are bilingual. You know what the word means. Bi means two, and lingual or language. So bilingual means they can speak 2 languages.
Tourism jobs are available all over the country, and more foreigners are investing here, so
More foreigners are investing here.
it's been good for our economy. But there have been costs to the country too. With mass tourism, acres of jungle are cut down.
Acres of jungles are cut down. Acres of jungles are cut down. So what is acres? So acre is unit of measurement equivalent to 4,700 something. It is 4,840 square yards or 4,047 square meters. This was in my mind. And that is a unit of measurement for area. It says acres of jungles. Here, in fact, he means lots of jungles or cut down. Cut, PP, passive.
So high-rise hotels can be built.
High-rise hotels. High-rise hotels.
Fish and lobster are hunted in our waters to feed to tourists. 25% of Costa Rican land is protected. But what about the other 75%? Ecotourism has become the answer to that question.
So, ecotourism has become the answer to that question.
The government reviews businesses and decides if they qualify in the ecotourism category.
So, the government reviews, for example, the proposals that the businesses, the new startups, are suggesting and decides if they fulfill the criteria or not for becoming an ecotourism industry.
Then they put them on a list so travelers can choose them when they visit our beautiful country.
What makes a business an ecotourism business? What are the criteria?
What are the criteria? What are the standards? Criteria. Criteria is a plural noun, and that means standards, measures. If you see criteria with the stress on T,
Criterion.
criterion, criteria. The standards that you need to have in order to fulfill a job or a responsibility or a role.
The criteria we use to select candidates.
So we want some candidates and they should fulfill some criteria. They should have some criteria.
Well, let's look at this hotel where we're having the conference. It fulfills some of the most common criteria to...
It fulfills some of the most common criteria. Fulfill the criteria for something. If you want to work with us here in this company, you need to fulfill some criteria. What are the criteria for working in your company? You need to be speaking English and French. You need to be able to type fast, and you need to be able to travel with us internationally, for example. These are the measures, these are the standards, the features.
To be a certified ecotourism business here.
So to be a certified means approved by the government.
Local Costa Ricans are employed, waste is recycled, energy-saving devices are used, and visitors are educated about our culture and environment.
So these are the criteria.
Fantastic. Before we go, Mr. Rodriguez, is there anything you'd like to say to all the travelers listening to you right now?
I would encourage all travelers to visit ecotourism businesses when traveling. They can learn about nature without disturbing it. Together, we can make a difference.
Sure.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Live from San Jose, Costa Rica, Emily Jameson reporting.
So the whole idea of ecotourism is to live in harmony with nature and not to disturb it, as Mr. Rodriguez said. Okay, so this was a beautiful listening. I liked it a lot, had a lot of words and things in it. And now in part C, what is tourism like in your country? Now, for furthering our speaking here, we have some speaking practice in part C. Please pause the video and talk about your sample response about tourism in your country, positive and negative aspects. I read my sample, you can talk about it before or after I give my talk. And the sample response comes from someone in Portugal. In Portugal, tourism is vibrant and diverse. So vibrant means very beautiful, vivid, and diverse, of different types, different kinds. Positively, our country offers stunning beaches, or has very beautiful beaches. Stunning means very beautiful. Rich history and delicious cuisine or food. Visitors enjoy exploring cities like Lisbon and Porto, filled with cultural treasures. Filled with means full of. However, overcrowding during peak seasons can strain infrastructure and impact local communities. Can put pressure on infrastructures. Additionally, and as well as that, in addition, some natural sites face environmental pressures or challenge. Overall, while tourism boosts our economy and cultural exchange, managing its impact sustainably is crucial for our future. If we want to have it sustainably for the future generations, we need to manage that responsibly and sustainably. Okay, a very beautiful sample response from Portugal. Now, I suggest that if you didn't talk about this part, you please also talk about tourism in your country or any other country you have good information about. And right now, if you're good, we go to exercise 11 and the beautiful speaking. Give me a clue. Here we got something genius, because one student talks about a country and describes that under these categories but doesn't give the name. The others are supposed to guess what the name of that country is. And here I have a sample response for you without the name of the country. You please guess where it is. It says that country is in Southeast Asia. Traditional dishes include nasi goreng, fried rice, the meaning of that, and stati, grilled meat skewers. The language is Bahasa, that country. The currency is the rupiah of that country. Famous tourist attractions include Bali's beaches. I guess lots of people know about that. And Yogyakarta temples. Souvenirs like batik textiles and wooden carvings are popular. Which country is it? I guess you must know it by now. Exactly, it is Indonesia. Yes, exactly. So at least because of Bali, lots of people know Indonesia, a very beautiful country, southeast of Asia. And also you can make description of a country without the name of that and say it for your partner, and then your partner can decide what it is. And now if you're good, we go to exercise 12, the writing a city guide. And this one is also beautiful, with the beautiful picture of Belgium. It resembles somehow Venice too. So here I have a sample response for you. It is from someone from Cuba. It says, welcome to our online city guide for Cuba. Experience the vibrant culture. So it is a beautiful collocation. Let's transfer it into our vocabulary notebook. A vibrant culture, a vivid and beautiful and rich history, another beautiful culture of this Caribbean gem. Calls the country a gem, diamond, jewelry. Wander through Havana's colorful streets, where classic cars line the roads and salsa music fills the air. Very beautiful. Explore the colonial architecture of Trinidad and dive into the crystal clear waters of Varadero's beaches. Don't miss the chance to savor authentic Cuban cuisine. So cuisine, food, Cuban, adjective for Cuba. Authentic means real, genuine, and savor, to enjoy. From savory ropa vieja to refreshing mojitos, different kinds of food that they offer. Whether you're strolling along the Malecon, so you're walking along the Malecon, stroll, walk, or exploring Viñales, lush countryside, different parts of Cuba with different names, so the names are not important if you don't know how to pronounce them. Cuba promises unforgettable adventures at every turn. A very beautiful sentence. Unforgettable adventures at every turn, every part of the country you go. A very beautiful sample response. Vibrant culture was very beautiful. Rich history was very beautiful. And it promises unforgettable adventures at every turn. I like the sample response very much. So you also please write a city guide for your country or for the country you have information about. And now if you're good, we move to the reading of the unit. The unit was long with lots of words, but finally we made it to the end, the reading. So for better quality, I have had it typed before, and now we will read from my Word file. The readings on different museums. The first one, Solba International Museum of Toilets, New Delhi, India. Interesting. Ever wondered about the history of toilets? Probably not. But visit the fascinating Solba Museum and see just how interesting they can be. Admire nearly 300 different toilets dating back to 2500 BCE or 2500 BCE, which means before Christ. And if we want to see 2500 BCE means when, it means nearly 4,500 years ago, because right now it is the year 2024, and if you add it to 2500 it will be 4,524 years ago. Date back could be the beautiful word here for us. Dating back, going back. Some are beautifully decorated. One is made of solid gold, and there is an electric toilet that works without water. The star of the collection is a copy of a 16th century toilet. It was used by King Louis XIV of France, sometimes while speaking to his government. So, why do we read it 14? Because in Roman number, this one is 10 and this one is 5. So it means 10 and 1 before 5, which means 13. See drawings, photographs, and poems about toilets too. One photo shows a toilet that was used by an elephant. Interesting. So let's go to India and see what it is like. B. Underwater Museum, Cancun, Mexico. Join one of our unique tours and discover an amazing underwater world 27 feet below the sea. Designed by Jason Docker Taylor in 2009, it has over 450 sculptures. They are made from natural materials and show art and nature existing side by side. The silent evolution, S and E are capital, showing that it is one piece of art there. The silent evolution shows men, women, and children standing together on the seabed. They look so real that you want to talk to them. Interesting. There are also sculptures of a house and a life-size Beetle car, which is the Volkswagen, the Beetle car. The sculptures are covered in beautiful corals, and their appearance are constantly changing because corals are covering them. Corals are alive, as you know. Watch as an incredible variety of fish swim in and out of them. Interesting. Museum underwater. And the third one, a micro miniature museum in Kiev, Ukraine. Once again, I wish for peace and harmony all over the world, and I wish that the war in Ukraine also finishes and Ukrainians enjoy their natural life in peace and harmony with all their family members. Small really is beautiful in this museum of art with a difference. The exhibits are the items that are shown in a museum. The exhibits created by artist Nikolai Sidristi are so tiny they can only be seen clearly with a microscope. Read the world's smallest book. It is only 0.6 millimeters in size, but contains 12 pages of poems and drawings. There is a chess set on the head of a pin and the world's smallest electric motor. It is 20 times smaller than a piece of sand. Interesting. Look closely at the eye of a needle and discover the 7 camels inside the eye of a needle. Read the words long life peace, not on paper, but written on a human hair. So it's a must-see museum. We gotta go and see it. Let's just take a look at that. So that's what it looks like. This is the chess set on the head of a pin. Interesting. It's very, and this is the camels, the 7 camels in the eye of a needle. We gotta go and see it. Very beautiful, microscopic. Okay, Kiev. And our reading also finished, my friends, but as usual I got a summary for this reading, and I suggest whenever you read a summary for practicing your grammar and activating your vocabulary, please try to come up with a summary of that part. I know it takes time, but this is a brilliant technique to activate your vocabulary and grammar. Now I read the summary of the part for you so you may know how to summarize the text. The text describes 3 unique museums around the world. Topic sentence clearly says what the text is about. The Salba Museum in New Delhi showcases exhibits displays the history of toilets with over 300 exhibits. I said exhibits are the items in a museum, including a gold toilet and one used by King Louis XIV. The Underwater Museum in Cancun displays over 450 sculptures underwater, blending art with nature, mixing art with nature. Beautiful sentence, including the silent evolution. And finally, the Micro Miniature Museum in Kiev exhibits tiny artworks, such as the world's smallest buck and electric motor, only visible under a microscope. These museums offer intriguing insights into diverse subjects, from toilets to miniature art. So this is how you summarize a text, talking about the main idea of that in the beginning and then just talking about the main parts. Details do not matter in a summary. After all, you want to summarize it. And now that the reading finished, there is a part B and a part C. That is some exercise. Please you take care of it. And here, which museum would you most like to visit and why? Now here, the speaking part, please talk about the museum that you would like to see and say why. Pause the video and do it, or after I read mine, you please do so. I would most like to visit the Louvre Museum in Paris. It's famous for its incredible art collection, including the Mona Lisa and Venus de Milo. I'm fascinated by history and art, so seeing these iconic pieces would be amazing. Plus, additionally, Paris itself is known for its beauty and culture, making the whole experience even more appealing, interesting, and beautiful. Okay? So in our book, we talked about landmarks in different countries and about some beautiful information about them. We had also speakings here talking about Walt Disney and its start and creation, and also showcasing the grammar for us, which was the passive in past tense. Here we talked about the passive in past tense. In the word file, I will talk more about it. And under the pronunciation part, different pronunciations for the letter O. We covered the wonders, man-made wonders of the word. We talked about this beautiful listening. And here under word power, we had these sentences which were the beginning of our new grammar, the passive in present tense. Also, the conversation was talking about that. Here we had passive in simple present is an RPP with the exercises that we had here. The very beautiful listening about Costa Rica and the effects of ecotourism. The speaking part that we had about Indonesia, the writing, and also the reading that right now we finished. And in the word file, what did we talk about? These reviews are very useful because they wrap up all the point in our minds. So here we started with some speaking about different countries, about Iran and about Italy and their architecture. Find, found, 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 founded, founded, which means established and started. We talked about it. About Walt Disney, yes. About Walt Disney, no. We talked about it. Passive, the structure I told you about. Object, to be, and then the PP. How to select the right to be. To be's are, am is are, was and were. If your verb is present, it will be one of these. If your verb is past, it will be either was or were. And if your object is singular, then it will be one of these. If it is plural, it is one of these. And then here we had some grammar practices that we had under pronunciation. We talked about the listening. I told you Shah means king. Incredible building, which was a beautiful collocation. I said please transfer into your vocabulary notebook. And the speaking parts here we had impressive architecture is a beautiful collocation. And under word power, I gave a sample response in two voices, active and passive. So it was clear for us the differences between the two. A significant part was a beautiful collocation that we had today. and the conversation, tulips and the tulips festival in the Netherlands. Gorgeous, which means very beautiful. Go on a tour, we talked about this. To be worth, verb ing, we talked about it. It means it has the value to do something. The second passive with the same structure but present tense. Here it is present tense, so I have made a mistake. Present tense. And abundantly here we had, which means in large number or in large amount. Domestically and internationally, beautiful adverbs coming together, talking about locally and internationally, or for inside and outside a country. Under listening, it aims to, it wants to, it has this goal. Bilingual, someone who speaks 2 languages. Acres, we talked about it. Yeah, high rise. Criteria, to fulfill the criteria, to meet the criteria for something, or to satisfy the criteria. I wonder why I didn't write them then. To meet the criteria, to satisfy the criteria, and to fulfill the criteria. Certified, which means approved. We had it for the part talking about government. And then here under speaking, we had stunning beaches, very beautiful beaches. And under speaking, we talked about Indonesia, the beautiful country in South Asia. Here the writing, talking about Cuba, a very beautiful text. Vibrant culture was beautiful. Rich history was beautiful about Cuba, and Cuba promises unforgettable adventures at every turn. It was beautiful. Transfer it into your vocabulary notebook. Date back to, it's beautiful, about the Museum of Toilets. And here in the reading, do we have any other words? Nothing here. And the reading summary that we talked about, and also the speaking part. So it's all from my side, my friends, and from your side. Please, while watching the videos, pause and give your sample responses. This way you will enrich your speaking and you will activate your grammar and vocabulary. If you find my videos useful, please kindly like them and share them with your friends and invite them to come and watch these videos and learn English for free and with enjoyment. I hope you have a brilliant day ahead of yourself. Take very good care and bye.